Okay, so in this video, I'm going to walk through the problems that we're doing in class today. I have gone ahead and highlighted the triangles. All of the pink triangles are going to be the 45, 45, and 90 degree special right triangles, and then all of the yellow triangles are the 30, 60, 90 right triangles. I'm going to specifically go through and do all of the pink ones, all of the 45, 45, 90 degree triangles first. That way I can follow the rules for these and not get confused by switching back and forth. On the 45, 45, 90 degree triangle, it's important to remember that the legs of the triangle are the same measure. So if you know one of the legs' lengths, then you know the other leg because they are the same. And then the hypotenuse of the triangle, you can take the leg measure and multiply it by square root of 2 to get that measure. So here they have an example for us. Here they show us that the leg length is 4. That means that A here would also equal 4. And then to find B, we're going to multiply 4 by square root of 2 and get 4 square root of 2 as that length. Now, if you're going from the hypotenuse to the leg, you would need to divide by square root of 2, and we'll get to that in some of the examples as well. So again, we're just going to work through all of the pink triangles and then go back and do all of the yellow ones. So number 1, it shows us that 45 degree angle there, so we know it's going to follow these rules. If this is 6, then this side right here is 6. And then to find the hypotenuse, we just multiply by square root of 2. So this length right here is 6 square root of 2. Okay, and then the next one on the page, number 3. This time they gave us the length of the hypotenuse, and we have to work backwards to find the length of the leg. And we're going to do that by dividing by square root of 2. So we'll take 3 square root of 2 and divide it by square root of 2. And what happens is those square root of 2's cancel, and we're just left with 3. So that means this leg right here is 3 units, and this one is 3 units as well. Okay, now number 5. We're given the length of the hypotenuse. We're going to work backwards to get the length of the leg. We're going to divide by square root of 2. So taking 2 square root of 2, divide by square root of 2, that cancels, and we're left with 2 for both legs here. Number 7. Number 7, again, they give us the length of the hypotenuse. We do have to work backwards to get the length of the leg. We're going to divide by square root of 2. We'll take 6, put it over square root of 2. Now we have a problem here because there's a radical in the denominator, and we can't have that in our answer. So we are going to multiply by square root of 2 over square root of 2. We're essentially multiplying by 1. 6 times square root of 2 is 6 square root of 2, and then square root of 2 times itself is just the whole number 2. We have this. We do need to simplify it one step further. 6 and 2 are both divisible by 2. Divide this by 2 to get 1. Divide this by 2 to get 3. And our answer is 3 square root of 2. So that means this leg right here, the measure is 3 square root of 2. And this one is 3 square root of 2 as well. Okay, moving over to number 9. We'll zoom in a little bit further. Number 9, we're given the hypotenuse. We have to work backwards by dividing by square root of 2. So 4 divided by square root of 2. Again, we can't have that radical in the denominator, so we're just going to multiply it by this here. We'll get 4 square root of 2 over 2. These can both be divided by 2 to get 1 and 2, and we're left with 2 square root of 2. So that is our answer for this leg and this one as well. Okay, and moving over to number 11. Now this time they gave us the length of the leg. We know it's the leg because it's adjacent to that 90 degree angle. That means this leg is the same measure. And then to find the hypotenuse, we multiply by square root of 2. So we get 5 square root of 2. Okay, again, we are going to go back and do the yellow ones, but at this point we're going to stick with these. So flip over your page, and we're going to do all of the pink ones on the other side. So I just flipped over my worksheet. I'm going to do these pink ones here. And let's see what we have for number 2. Okay, so number 2, it gives us the length of the leg adjacent to that 90 degree angle. That means this is 8 as well. And then to find the hypotenuse, we multiply by square root of 2. So B is 8 square root of 2. Okay, moving down to number 4. This time they give us the length of the hypotenuse. We have to divide by square root of 2 to get the leg. 3 square root of 2 divided by square root of 2. That cancels. We're left with b equals 3. And if b equals 3, then a equals 3 as well, because those legs are the same length. Moving over to number 5. Okay, we're given the leg. This leg has to be the same measure because it is that 45, 45, 90 degree right triangle. And then to find the hypotenuse, we need to take this and multiply by square root of 2. So square root of 2 times square root of 2 is just 2, so 2 times 2 equals 4. So the length of the hypotenuse here is 4. Okay, and the last pink one on the page is number 9. Again, it shows the 45, 45 degree angle, and then this has to be 90 degrees because the three angles do add to 180. We're given the length of the hypotenuse. We need to get the length of the leg. We're going to divide by square root of 2. 16 divided by square root of 2 would look like this. Simplify that by multiplying by square root of 2 over square root of 2. I get 16 square root of 2 over 2. This can be simplified. Divide both of these by 2 to get 1 and 8. And I'm left with 8 square root of 2. So this is 8 square root of 2. And then we know that this is the same measure, 8 square root of 2. Okay, so that is all of the 45, 45, 90 degree angles. Okay, so now we're going to go back over to the other page and work through the yellow ones. Now looking at the instructions for the yellow triangles, the 30, 60, 90 degree special rate triangles, we have our shortest side here, which in the notes yesterday we called S for the shortest side. And then we have our hypotenuse, which is 2 times the shortest side. And then this here, the medium length side, is S times square root of 3. So looking at the example, we have the shortest side is 3 units. To get to the hypotenuse, we need to multiply by 2, so b must equal 6 here. And then to get to the medium length side, we need to multiply by square root of 3. So a equals 3 square root of 3, which is what they have down here as well. Okay, so now we're going to work through all the yellow ones using those rules. So number 2, our shortest side is actually right here. To go from the hypotenuse to the short side, we divide by 2. So we'll get 5. And then to get this medium length side, we need to multiply by square root of 3. So we get 5 square root of 3. Okay, number 4, we're given the shortest side. We can double that, multiply it by 2 to get 12 for the hypotenuse, and then multiply it by square root of 3 to get this medium length side. Okay, then moving over to number 6. This time we're given the medium length side, the longer of the 2 legs. To get to the shorter side, we need to divide by square root of 3. So 4 square root of 3 divided by square root of 3. These cancel, we're left with 4. That was easier than we thought, right? And then multiply by 2 to get the hypotenuse. So this is 8. Number 8. Now we're given the medium length side. We need to divide by square root of 3 here. 9 over square root of 3. We do need to simplify that. So I get 9 square root of 3 over 3. 9 and 3 can be divided by 3, so I get 1 and 3. So I get 3 square root of 3. Then to find the hypotenuse, it's the easier of the 2 steps. Just multiply that by 2, we get 6 square root of 3. Okay, number 10. We're given the hypotenuse this time. We can divide that by 2 to get the shorter side. It'll be 3. And then to get this longer leg, we just multiply by square root of 3. So we get 3 square root of 3. Okay, and number 12, the last yellow one on the page. We're given the longer leg. We need to divide by square root of 3 to get this shorter side. So 12 over square root of 3. We're going to need to do some simplifying. Get 12 square root of 3 over 3. 12 and 3 can be divided by 3 to get 1 and 4. So I have 4 square root of 3 for that length of the shorter side, and then I'm going to double it, times it by 2 to get the length of the hypotenuse. Okay, and that is all for the problems on the page. If you'd like, you can go through and take the answers in the boxes, cross them out to fill in the puzzle here. Okay, now we're going to flip over to the other page to finish the 30, 60, 90 degree triangles on this side. Okay, starting with number 1, it shows us clearly that there's a 30, 60, and 90 degree angle. It shows us that the length of the shortest side is 5. Then we need to multiply that by 2 to get this length here. So A equals 10. Then to get the longer leg, or the medium length side, we're going to multiply by square root of 3. So B is 5 square root of 3. Then for number 3, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. This time they give us the length of the hypotenuse. We need to divide that by 2 to get the length of the shorter side. And then multiply that by square root of 3 to get the longer leg. So B is 6 square root of 3. Okay, we can just move right down to number 6. This time they gave us the hypotenuse. They also gave us this leg here. We can divide this by 2 to get the shorter side. So A equals 7. That was an easy one. Okay, so now I'm going to move over to number 7. They showed us an equilateral triangle here. They show that 2 of the angles here are 60 degrees. That means this must be 60 degrees as well. And in an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same length. So if this is 6 square root of 3, then this is 6 square root of 3. So B equals 6 square root of 3. And that means A is 6 square root of 3 as well. Okay, and number 8, 30, 60, 90 degree triangle. The shortest side is opposite that 30 degree angle, so this is the shortest side. We can multiply that by 2 to get the hypotenuse, which is 12. And then to get this longer leg, which is always opposite the 60 degree angle, we multiply by square root of 3. So B equals 6 square root of 3. There we go. And that is it for all the problems and all the work. If you'd like, you can go ahead and use the answers to fill this puzzle in, but make sure to turn in your worksheet when it is complete.